Hello and welcome to the Hawaii National Guard Youth Challenge Academy, Kalaeloa podcast, the show that will discuss the life and times of the cadets and staff of the Hawaii National Guard Youth Challenge Academy. Aloha, I'm Cadet Evile, your host, and this is my co-host, Cadet Gregory.
Hello, everyone.
This is our first YCA podcast episode. We will discuss what Kalaeloa Youth Challenge Academy is all about and what the cadets learn and go throughout our times here in YCA. We'll discuss the routine and the ins and outs of the Youth Challenge Academy, so please join us. Cadet Gregory, where are you from? How did you find out about Youth Challenge Academy, and why did you decide to join?
I decided to join Youth Challenge Academy because I had no direction in life and I wasn't sure what I wanted to be when I got out of high school. So I figured I killed two birds with one stone, and I would go get my high school diploma while also learning on what I wanted to do in life.
Oh, wow. Okay. Ask me.
What about you, Cadet Evile?
Well, the reason for me being here is because I really didn't have a guidance, and I was always selfish and just decided to choose what I wanted to do and just be myself. But I lacked discipline, I lacked humbleness, I lacked a lot of things in life, mainly caring about the people who cared about me the most. So I just decided to take a leap of faith and do something different and basically just have a good mindset throughout my life. And yeah, that's the reason why I'm here. But I wanted to ask you, how did you find out about YCA?
I found about YCA through my parents. Originally, school wasn't really going too well for me. I'll be honest. I was wondering what I wanted to do after I graduate. Because I was on my 12th year of high school, 12th grade, right?
Yes.
So I was really struggling on where I wanted to go after I graduated. Many people in my family, they told me they still didn't know what they wanted to be, but they just took other jobs as stepping stools.
Mm-hmm.
But me, it's I wanted to find something where I wake up in the morning and I know that I'll enjoy it and it's a career path I want to follow. So,
That's right.
Coming to YCA, I decided to take a shot, like you said, a leap of faith.
Yes, sir.
Give it a shot because you only live once. And I thought, what harm could be done? I don't have anything to lose. I can always choose. They don't force you to stay here. It's always voluntary. You're voluntarily willing to better yourself and others.
And you'll also be surprised about going AWOL, absent without leave. The cadres don't care because it's your choice, and it's basically about, do you want to be here or do you want to leave? Do you want to give up that fast? They care that you're here, but it's all about putting in hard work. It's all about trying. It's all about just focusing on the process and not the outcome. But before you came in here, what school did you attend?
Before coming here, I attended James B. Castle High School in Kaneohe.
Mm-hmm.
And before coming in, I was in 12th grade, but I decided to take a leap of faith and see what YCA had to offer.
Wow. So as you and I both know that there's 2 weeks for pre-challenge, which was probably the hardest 2 weeks we all had to deal with. But
Yes, sir.
In your opinion, how do you think the 2 weeks went in pre-challenge?
The 2 weeks in pre-challenge, definitely the hardest part of the challenge. Don't you agree?
I agree.
I think it was definitely the most physically and intensive of the phases. We're in white phase now already, and
Yes, sir.
in comparison, we had nothing. It was hard, it was difficult, and yeah, it was just everyone was in fight or flight. But in the end, we all made it, or most of us made it, and I'm glad that we're here now.
Yes. And to be exact, the 2 weeks are the first 2 weeks when we came in here, which was known as pre-challenge. That's actually one of the first phases we have to deal with. And right after that becomes red phase, which is...
Red phase is integrity. It represents integrity.
and basically it's just doing things really great even behind closed doors, even when people are not looking. But the phase we're in right now as we speak is white phase, the third phase out of 5. And white phase is known for
White phase represents courage, the
courage.
courage to take on responsibility. Now that we're later into the program, we're expected to have more uh, privileges and responsibilities and duty as leadership and lead an example for others.
Mhm. There actually has been different job fairs we've been having for our future. Would you like to share what kind of jobs stood out to you through our
Job fairs. Actually, speaking of job fairs, I did find a few that was interesting, but the unique thing about this class was I heard HPD got to come
Yes,
for the
sir.
first time in a few classes, and that was really exciting. It tied in back with the military. It helps with military afterwards. You know, you can do all that kind of stuff, but if military wasn't for you, they also offered colleges and
They did.
medical, all that kind, even accounting and banking, I believe, if I remember.
Wow.
So yeah, that was really interesting. I'm glad that a lot of people decided to come and support the youth. Was there any to you that stood out in
I'll
particular?
say the job fair when all the branches decided to come to U Challenge Academy just to recruit us. And out of all branches, I'll say the Marines stood out to me the most because the way they presented themselves in front of everyone and how strong and firm they were about their words and their promises. So most likely, I'm gonna be going to the Marines after I graduate from U Challenge Academy, and I think I should be shipped out to San Diego less than a week. So that's one of the good parts.
Oh, a week after graduation?
Yes, sir. But
Before coming in, did you think you were going to be a Marine? Were you expecting to join the military before coming in here?
that was honestly never ever in my head. I was always a troubled kid, so I never did think I could be in the military in general. But I just was like, why not make it back to the leap of faith we both talked about? Why not make a change? But
It's a big change.
for your first day in here, go ahead and describe about like what was going on in your head and how you dealt with things.
Ooh, first day, it was rough, to put it simply. I didn't really know anyone coming into Youth Challenge. I mean, it was obvious, but for me, it was a little alienating in particular because, I came from the other side of the island. Most people here knew each other. I'm not from this side. I was very unfamiliar with a lot of people here, so I thought it was just not for me at first. Like, I didn't know what to expect coming in. I remember saying it would be very difficult. I'm sure you could say the same, but I know Youth Challenge isn't meant to be easy. Youth Challenge is not meant to hold your hand. You're supposed to. This is the challenge where you show whether you're mature and strong enough to really make it.
And last final question before we end, Gregory, how do you like the food here? Your favorite dish? What do you enjoy the most?
My favorite dish, hard to say. I enjoy a lot of the dishes here, mainly the breakfasts. I love breakfast. If I had to say, it'd probably be the breakfast burrito. I think that's my favorite dish.
I agree.
What
For
about you,
me,
Billy?
I'll say the waffles, the ribs, the mainly everything. I like eating everything and anything. That's the facts. And that would be it for the podcast. But thank you for joining in on our first podcast. This has been a quick overview over our routine and experience here at Kalaeloa Youth Challenge Academy. In our next podcast, we will have a guest to talk about more of what the cadets experience here at Kalaeloa Youth Challenge Academy. And if you are interested in attending the Youth Challenge Academy here in Kalaeloa on the island of Oahu, you can contact our admission office at 808-685-7139 or 808-685-7143. If you are interested in attending the Hilo U Challenge Academy, their admission number is 808-369-0948. Thank you again for joining our podcast and see you soon.